I think when I do tarot, I'm gonna have my original intro, not my Mind Body Bronx intro. So, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Teams, and I'm your host, Boogie Down Bronx, and I'm here to take care of the Scorpianas, and this is on Patreon. I don't think I'll be releasing this. Well, I don't know. I might. This might be early access. It might be. It might. I don't know yet. Everything is first exclusive, then it's early access. If I do release it, it might be on, I don't know, sometime in a few weeks. But it depends on if I feel like the collective Scorpio needs to hear this. But thank you, Scorpios, for being here. All the new Scorpio patrons, subscribers, Scorpios right there. I appreciate y'all, and I hope that you stick around and indulge in all the Scorpio content. For Scorpio season reading, stay. It won't stay. Yes, it's not gonna stay. But yeah, very pivotal month for us Scorpio placements because we have this last eclipse in Taurus, and even though it's not in Scorpio, it is still very prominent or prevalent for Scorpio placements since it's opposite of Taurus, and it's still prominent for the fixed signs as well: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So we are going to dive in and see what's going on for the month ahead, the month ahead, November, for Scorpio season. And I want to start out with this new Oracle of Pluto book that I got. Well, not a book, cards. I got this from Amazon. So 55 card exploration of the undiscovered self is what it says. So let's get into it, see what's going on here. Oop. Okay. These are so pretty. Like, they're so pretty. They're so easy to shuffle, you know. Oh, wait. Let me show y'all. I know you can't see my table fully, so you can't see. But the beautiful shuffle, they're so easy. Yeah, love that. Love cards that feel like this, that are easy, flexible, easy to have in the hand, you know. But let's talk about it and see what is the energy for Scorpio placements. Whatever Scorpio placements are watching right now. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, South Node, Mars, Mercury, whoever you are. What is the energy right now for Scorpio season? We have Hippo. Let me tell y'all, I pulled that card yesterday for myself. We got Hippo and Griffin. So this is what these look like. Pretty cool. All right, let's see what these mean, because it has an explanation book for all of the stuff, because I have no idea what all of these like things mean. The superconscious is the Griffin. The Griffin has often been used as a symbol of fierce power and impenetrable protection. While you'll never see one in real life, to see a Griffin in your dreams is a compelling message from spirit. Sometimes the Griffin is depicted as being so large it can blot out the sun. If the Griffin energy is at play, you are at a rare and fated moment in your life, and it's time to pay attention. There are different experiences and truths to be found. There is a time to sit in the dark and the silence, and a time to step out in the illumination of the sun. In this way, we can grasp the divine is in all things, is in both light and dark simultaneously. There is an appropriate time for both, and in this moment, you must discern which one you need. Spend time in meditation, researching for the symbolism of the Griffin. Its presence is fleeting, yet profound. Do your best to be present and drink in as much detail as you can. Open yourself up fully to the divine and pay attention to the messages at play. The Griffin arrives when the situation at hand requires complex balance of power and a leap of faith. So that was very symbolic. It was very, I don't know how to even explain it, but it did kind of give me like Scorpio energy, as well as the hippo represents abundance. So there's an abundance that is flowing in, and being open to more abundance and being aware and appreciative of the abundance as it comes in. And so with the Griffin, I feel like it's about integration of light and dark, and looking at the fated events that are happening and seeing when you need to be more out there in the physical world versus when you need to be more inside of yourself is kind of what I got from it. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff here. Still learning this deck. I only just got it yesterday. So we'll play around with it more. Let me know if you want me to use that deck some more. This is bothering me that it won't stay on Scorpio. Like, we done with Libra season. Like, let's stay on it. Like, we is done with Libra. So please. Thank you. Jace Louise. Okay. So let's get into some... Don't you move. Let's get into some blunt truth for Scorpios right now. What is blunt truth for Scorpio placements? Now, for Scorpio specifically, Scorpio risings, especially, we're at a place where we are ending a cycle that we've been in for the last almost 2 years in relationships, where we're letting go of any remnants of relationships that have brought us chaos, brought us anything but peace, have brought us distortions, brought us pain. And we're letting go of that. We're grieving that. We're moving forward. We're moving away from anything that has occupied the space of our relationships that was not supposed to be there. All right. New career path almost popped out. So what we have for Scorpios for November, can you tell us the blunt truth for Scorpio in November? Self-love is top tier. What's the blunt truth for Scorpio in November? We have excuses are keeping you stagnant. Big D energy. Self-love is top tier. I don't know what this means. Hold on. I'm going to have to go back a little bit. I'll show you the cards. Hold on. All right. So Big D energy. Excuses are keeping you stagnant. Going in circles. Really what came out. Everything else kind of wasn't meant to come out. Like, let me pull one more card. One more card for Scorpio for November. Relocation. Some of you guys may be moving or thinking about relocation, or life takes you in a different direction than you expected to go in, whether that's physically or mentally or emotionally. So just be on the lookout for that. Excuses are keeping you stagnant. I'm not sure really what you're making excuses about, but we'll look into that too. Let's pull a couple cards for some shadow work for Scorpio. What's hidden in November, or some shadow work for Scorpio? What is shadow work for Scorpio? 7 of Cups, the Star. All right. 7 of Cups and Le Star. Okay. First, let's see. 7 of Cups. You are facing an important decision. You need to know what motivates you to make the choice you want. Upright choices, opportunity, and motivations. So either you feel like you have a lot of choices, or you're not really sure what is the right choice or what choice to make, or something along those lines. The Star represents hope and a positive vision for the future. What do we see as our life purpose, and how do we get to it? Indicating we all need hope and optimism about the future. We need to have dreams to enjoy this life. Hope, inspiration, promise, purpose, and faith. So it's kind of like, depending on the vision you have for your future, that is going to determine, I guess, what outcome or what path you take. Because a lot of times, right, we'll get stuck on, and you have excuses are keeping you stagnant. We'll get stuck on, I can't pick a path, or I can't commit to a path because I'm not sure if it's the right path. And sometimes there's absolutely no amount of certainty that we can receive from anybody, anything, any reading, right? Even this one, before we like, look, I just got to pick a path and I just got to commit to it. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. We just got to see. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that the universe is putting you in right now, where it's like, there is no really right or wrong. It's like once you start to walk in a certain direction, then that's the path that will open up and it'll put you wherever you need to be. Because in life, there's many paths to get to the same destination, right? So it's like instead of focusing on the details and all that, maybe you focus more on the bigger picture. Like you want an outcome or you see yourself, in a certain position or better off than you are now. And you're like, I don't really know how to get there. And Spirit is kind of just telling you to just start walking, keep walking where you are. Or, if what you're pushing for right now isn't working, just pivot, change your direction. But you have to choose somewhere, something, and be positive about you'll find your way. All right, that's kind of what I got from it. Now, if you got something else, let me know what you got from it. Now, let's see, for Scorpio, what are the main themes for Scorpio to be focusing on here in November? What are the main themes for Scorpio to be focusing on in November, Scorpio? You have new love. What are the main themes for Scorpio to be focusing on in November? For their excuses or keeping them stagnant. What are the main themes for Scorpio to be focusing on in November? It's kind of like one of those things, like I know what I want, but I don't know exactly how to get it. Don't know how to get there. It's kind of like do whatever you can, right, to get it. I know that don't really make sense, but I'll explain. So you have, it's one of those things, as long as you're not going backwards. And I was going to actually do a separate video for this or on this with Scorpio, and I probably still will. It was about temptation, where there's going to be a period for us Scorpio placements with this last eclipse, because we're getting out of this last cycle where, because we're fully releasing something, a part of ourselves or a part of our identities that we've been struggling with, or a part of something that we've been doing for a long time, could be an addiction or some type of behavior or mindset, something that we're like stuck on, or a person we're stuck on. There's like temptation to go back to that, because when you reach a certain part of your healing process, it takes you to the next level, gets even more uncomfortable, and you're like, maybe I should just go back to what was familiar, what I knew, what was more comfortable for me. But no, keep moving forward. There'll be tests here to go back to something that was unrequited or unbalanced, or brings you unrequited or unbalanced energy back into your life. It's one of those things where some things were fun or exciting, but they came with a lot of drama or a lot of chaos. You could be tempted to go back there. Don't know if it's with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. But it looks like it's a test or a lesson for you to see if you're ready to fully put those behaviors or that chapter behind you and move forward into a new life or in a new love. All right, fame, new love here. So be aware of the tests and the temptations that come back towards you, even though you've made so much progress. It's like you might have reached a threshold or something triggered you to want to go back to that, or the old ways or the old behaviors. But once you understand that it's just coming from a place of trauma or fear or scarcity, and it comes with consequences, you probably won't want to go back to that. And this is your last opportunity with this eclipse closing out to make a final decision and say, I'm not going to go back to how I used to be or who I used to be with, or putting myself in certain predicaments or situations that prevent me from fully taking accountability for my healing, right? Because it can be safer, or it can feel safer to go back to what's familiar, because then you don't have to go through the process of grieving or healing or hurting or dealing with the mindset or the traumas. But make a conscious decision, like, I'm not going to use that as something to be an emotional crutch for me anymore. Okay? What is the advice for Scorpio? What is the advice? Forgiveness. Oh, yeah, that's a big one for us. What is the advice for Scorpio? What is the advice for Scorpio? What is the advice for Scorpio? I feel like we're all going into this new timeline. But there's been some things that we still have not allowed ourselves to grieve yet. And we need to be more honest about it, right? Because holding on to things can be not just like holding on to people in a positive way. It can be holding on to grudges. It can be holding on to anger, resentments. And that's why saying forgiveness, holding on to resentment towards yourself as well. But if you want to move into this new timeline, it's like forgiving yourself for these expectations, or forgiving someone else for not being able to meet these expectations. And that is the way it kind of like dissolves and it softens, and it doesn't keep you so stuck anymore. Because a lot of the times we get mad at other people, but we did put certain expectations on them that weren't there, or potential that never materialized, or we see them in a certain light and they didn't abide by that light we saw them in. So then we get angry and we hold that. But I still see that there has to be some truth and some honesty about where you may have held someone to a higher standard in your life that never really showed that they could be in that position anyway. And so crying a release, or you're still trying to mourn or get over a chapter or something that you had an emotional hold towards, even if it's been years, months, whatever, you can still grieve it. You can still let it go, and understand that things are going to change. Once you let go fully, there's no looking back. Scorpio energy is death and rebirth. To have the full process of the death, you have to fully go through that process of loss and healing and grieving. A lot of you have still been keeping a certain story alive, or a certain narrative alive, or a certain energy alive, instead of letting it fully die so it can, transform and you can move forward into something that's more beneficial for you long term. Very interesting. Okay, let's get into a little bit more of the tarot to see what else this is referencing to, but it's still saying that there needs to be some stuff that you admit that you're upset about still, or admit that it's still hurting you or it's still bothering you. Scorpio is the main sign. We are the main ones that can hold on to some pain. Okay, like something we can hold on to pain, but it's covered up by anger or frustration or irritation or whatever it's covered up by. We can hold on to it, and then it never gets acknowledged, and it never goes away, or it comes up at the wrong time. And we don't want that to keep happening. So we got to decide, all right, instead of like holding on to this grudge or this pain, I have to deal with the truth that it hurt me, or I feel betrayed, or I'm not dealing with that rage underneath the surface that I need to be dealing with, or I'm projecting all of it onto the other person instead of me dealing with my own feelings. So that will keep us very stuck. Okay, so let's see. What else is coming towards Scorpio right now? What else is coming towards Scorpio? What else is coming towards Scorpio? Seven of Swords. What else is coming towards Scorpio right now? Ten of Swords in reverse. Yeah, there's definitely a struggling to let go of something that has already ended. Ten of Wands reverse, or an inevitable ending, something that was kind of destined to end, but it's still kind of hard to make amends with that or make peace with that, or that it already has ended. What else for Scorpio? What else is coming towards Scorpio in November? During this eclipse season, Star card is here again. But you will heal, okay? It's like believing in your ability to heal and recover from any loss is something that you have to give yourself more credit for. Because Scorpio deals with, especially Scorpio Chiron, deals with the fear of loss. Even if something has already been lost, or it's actually not a loss. It's like all perception, right? So we have Leo and Aquarius energy here, Sun card and Star card. There's happiness on the other side of if you can change your perception of like what something looks like as a loss. It's not really a loss, okay? Especially if it was never yours, or it never really was what you thought it was. And it's easier said than done because there's a lot of mental energy that goes into it, but also emotional, where it could be either focusing too much on the mental aspect and intellectualizing it, or focusing too much on the emotional and not changing your mindset enough around it, or practicing telling yourself that it's okay to mourn, or it's okay to still feel a certain way about it, but it doesn't mean that you need to go back, or doesn't mean that you need to do anything about that. So let me get some cards for what we need to surrender here. For Scorpio, how can we release and let go and move on from this energy? How can we release and let go and move on from this energy here? Yeah, that's what it is. Ego, surrender your belief in scarcity. Yeah, so because Scorpio, we have this fear of loss. It is extremely scary to let go of anything that you have given value to. But what you must also understand is that when you give value to something, you can also take that value away. You can change that value. You can put it in different places. So it's like looking at the things that you've given a lot of value to, or for some reason you feel like that one thing, situation, person, job, scenario is extremely valuable, extremely important. Why? And why is it something that you need from that specific thing? You can have that with other things, other people, other experiences. It's just about trial and error. You may not get that exact thing, but you will get other things that can give you the same sense of security or the same emotional fulfillment. But it's about opening yourself up to that with other things, new experiences, which is hard. The universe is asking you to be open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. So, Scorpios, what I want you to understand is that no one person can do everything for you, or no one job will give you the most satisfaction. You could be like, yeah, this person or this situation made me feel so happy, the best I felt in my life. I need that again. I need that from that specific situation. You don't. Okay, that is an illusion. And once you start to have more experiences, you start to branch out, you start to open yourself up more, you'll see, okay, I can have different experiences, different feelings, different things from different people. It doesn't have to just be that one situation that you might have put on a pedestal without even realizing it. And give yourself time, surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust universal flow. And then you have surrender your ego at the same time. So it's one of those things where sometimes Scorpios, we take a little bit longer, just like Taurus. Think about it like this. Scorpio and Taurus are probably slower at a lot of things in the zodiac. Taurus is a earth sign. And then Scorpio being opposite of Taurus has some of the similar qualities. So Taurus takes a very long time to move on physically, or, change physically, materialistically in a lot of ways because of the stability, and it can hold on to things longer than it needs to. As well as Scorpio. Scorpio takes a long time to let go of things emotionally that it finds security in, whether it was good or bad. If it felt secure in that time, then it's going to feel like, oh my God, I can't let this go. And it can take us a long time, and it can be very frustrating when we're like, why am I still holding on to this? Why can't I let go of this? Everybody else has moved on. I'm still holding on. Why? And it's like you beat yourself up, and then it's like you hold on more because you're like, I can't let it go. And it's all these things. Give yourself some grace to know that it may take you longer than other people to let go emotionally. And that's okay, because when you let go, you're fully letting go. Other people may never reach the depth of emotional you feel because you're feeling super deeply. And when you feel super deeply and strongly, it takes you longer to let go. If you're feeling emotionally on a surface level, sure, you'll move on like this. You never connected. So it's like, take pride in knowing that you have a gift in being able to connect deeper than other people a lot of the time, which unfortunately is a gift and a curse, because then it means you take longer to disconnect because you've connected so deeply. But other people will never get to experience that emotional depth that you have. But it's like you have to also learn how to connect deeply, not just all or nothing with one situation. Like you can connect deeply in multiple places, multiple things. It's quality over quantity, but diversifying will help you in the long run, where you're not just like, this is my one thing forever and ever, and I need that one thing. No, like, spread your love, spread your energy, which is why I think there's a lot to learn for Scorpio with Leo and Aquarius, because Aquarius can do this more on a casual note, spreading itself, being more, open with different energies on a more casual level. Well, Leo can give that love openly to a lot of different people, and it's something that Scorpio struggles with. So when you learn to do that, that can help you overcome that scarcity mindset. Like if you lose that one thing, you have nothing else. If you have other energies to diversify yourself with, that can help a lot. Now, the last thing here, surrender your ego, cultivate gratitude, and be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So with this ego being that, you either take it very personally, depending on how other people treat you, as well as you may be like, I don't need anybody, I don't need anything, I don't need anyone to help me. That is a wounded ego talking, where we all need somebody. We all need help in some way. So if you can be more open and admit, yeah, I might need help with this part of the healing process, or I may need help, or I may need to talk about it, and surrender your ego, taking it personally or creating certain stories about yourself, about why you've been hurt, and kind of victimizing yourself in that way, and just giving yourself more of a boost and really developing real self-confidence. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. So after we go through a situation where we get rejected, or our egos are very wounded, you start to really get down on yourself, and you start to really yearn for this validation from other people or from the situation to validate you, reassure you. You don't need it, okay? It may feel like you do. You are already magical. You can give yourself these things by practicing, telling yourself every day that you're great, that you're amazing, that the right people will like you, the right people will love you, and giving other people a chance to get to know you better and be more vulnerable, be yourself, and understanding or creating new stories that people that don't like you or don't accept you, don't reject you, doesn't mean that everybody will, but it also means that those are not the right people for you around in your life. But also telling yourself and validating that you can feel mad, you can feel upset, you can feel pain because of that. So it's like so many different things happening at once. Letting yourself learn to feel, letting yourself grieve, letting yourself be mad, but also learning to not get stuck there on one person, or yearning for one type of love, one type of affection, one type of spirit experience that you've had months and years ago. You can still have that with different people, different variety. So push yourself out of your comfort zone emotionally to experience different types of connections, or different types of depths with people, or different types of intimacies and intensities. It doesn't always have to be super deep and involved and enmeshed, right? It can be a little lighthearted. It can be more fun. It can be more, you can have all these different things. So once you realize that, hey, I don't need just this one thing, this one person to do all that for me. It still went to Libra. Look at that. Then I can have these other experiences, and it will take that situation off the pedestal so much that you've given it so much value. It may not even be that valuable. It's probably not. Don't shoot me. But yeah, so that's what I got for you, Scorpios. Thank you for watching. I hope this resonates for you. If it does, please leave me a comment. Tell somebody that you know that would enjoy to benefit from this Scorpio tier. I have more Scorpio content I'll be posting for November for Scorpio season and the eclipses. That's all I got for y'all today. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything. Mind, Body, Bronx too.